You all set? You guys good here? I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to disclose that we have a recording device at the table here that's recording for the purposes of meeting minutes. We're also live streaming online as well. Prior to this meeting, we had an executive session where we discussed real estate, personnel, and legal matters directly prior to this meeting. On to the approval of minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the regular Board of Supervisors meeting on August 12th, 2025.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Derhinessian and seconded by Supervisor Iacono. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to the treasurer's report. Peter Bars, our treasurer, is not able to attend today. He's at a conference. In lieu of presenting, he did include his summary within our packet that was available online as well. So trusting that the board has had an opportunity to review his report, I'd like to make a motion to accept his report, pay all bills, and release all relevant escrows.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Supervisor Derhinessian. Is there any discussion on this? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, on to reports. Finances first. This item is related to identifying and allocating money for 2026 for the retirement plan for full-time employees within the township. So we agree and we submit our agreement to the state to acknowledge that we're holding this money for retirement in compliance with state requirements. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to accept the 2026 minimum municipal obligation for the employees' retirement plan in the amount of $34,000.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made and seconded by Supervisor Iacono. Is there any?
Just point of clarification, the agenda says 25.
Correct.
Make sure.
Yeah, it is a misprint. Thank you for clarifying that. The letters in the packet do indicate 2026 and as do the dollars.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it was a motion made and seconded. Is there any other discussion from the board on this? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. On to, excuse me, on to taxes. Mr. Plasha submitted his report that during the month of August, there were 11 invoices collected for 2025 taxes, totaling the amount of $12,743.46. It was all remitted to the township in one installment on September 7th, 2025. And as of August 31st, 2025, 3,432 tax bills were collected out of the total 3,577 for a 95.95% collection rate. And for the Garnet Valley School District, 3,432 payments have been processed for a total of $22,378,279.30. I don't believe I see. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Plasher, do you have anything to add?
Most of the actions on the school side right now, we have had trouble with the mail service. It's been incredibly slow and the TD Bank posting a lot of hospitals. We're working with residents on that relative to still honoring the discount, even though it's past 8/31, because they've reached out before. So we're doing that. Township, we're still about 144 parcels that are past due. We're going to send a reminder out in September. It's a little bit higher than normal. And we'll see if we can't ship some of that. We certainly will get the number down by the year. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Plasha. That concludes the report on taxes. On to public safety.
Chief McCarthy.
Good evening, everyone. During the month of August for 2025, the police department answered 927 calls. It is broken down into 57 medical emergencies, 1 DUI arrest, 1 burglary, 26 alarms, 89 traffic stops resulting in 58 citations, 6 domestic disturbances, 16 crashes, 3 theft reports, 2 fraud investigations, 3 other criminal investigations, 464 building and development checks. Vacation home was 9, suspicious vehicles and persons were 16. And there was 1 municipal ordinance violation and then 175 miscellaneous type calls. Pennsylvania has a new cell phone law that took effect on June 5th, 2025, making it a primary violation to use any type of a handheld device while you are driving your vehicle or while you are stopped at a stoplight or a stop sign. Warnings are issued for the first 12 months, and after that, it is a $50 fine plus cost. The significance and why I'm bringing this up so that everybody knows it is, the law used to say that when the car was in motion, they have changed that. Even if you were stopped at a traffic light, now you pick your cell phone up, you're in violation of the law. Has to be hands-free operation at all times. So just to be aware that they are issuing, as I said, warning notices for the first 12 months, but June 5th of 2026, they will turn into a $50 cost plus $50 fine plus cost, which is almost going to cost you $200. And it's a primary violation. It's not unlike the seatbelt, which is a secondary violation. You don't have to do anything else except the officer has to see your cell phone or see your tablet or see any other type of communications device in your hand. And that's potentially a traffic citation. What they're trying to go for here is Pennsylvania, like a lot of other states, is still experiencing a large amount of deaths and injuries due to what they call distracted driving. People are looking at their cell phones and all of a sudden everybody in front of them stopped and you didn't because you're busy reading the message on your cell phone or going to answer your phone or dialing your phone or whatever the case may be. So that is what the target is. They're trying to get that number obviously way down. Other than that, as we always say, try to be situationally aware. If you see something that you don't think is right, dial 911, use a call, dispatcher what it is that you think is odd or off, let us go check it out, So it's always good advice. And if you could indulge me for 1 minute, last month we talked about our stop sticks.
Yes.
I didn't see them.
Me either. I was like disappointed.
So this is what a stop stick looks like when it is unwrapped. Sorry. This is what they actually look like when the officer gets them out of the car. As you can see, they come on a nice reel. This goes across the highways, total 9 feet long, which is just 3 of these together. And what it is inside of here, there are small hollow tubes. And they are angled at every different angle, so all we have to do is throw it, and at least some of them, 1/3 of them will be fixed up. When a vehicle runs over this, there's styrofoam in here, it will depress on the styrofoam, and these small metal tubes go into your tire, slowly deflating your tire till there is no tire left. It's to stop pursuits. So this is what a stop stick is, as I said. The way these are deployed, the officer will hold the red handle, and throw them across the street. It will open up into a 9-foot section and then cover the entire lane. After the target vehicle goes over it, obviously the officer pulls it off the highway so that you don't get too many flat tires. Which has happened, not here, yet. But it has happened.
Okay. I mean, obviously, that's a one-time use.
These are one-time use, yes. And this is actually, what this is actually, they sent us 3 replacements. So these come zip right out of here. And they sent us 3 replacement ones that we can use in here.
What's it cost to replace the 7 of those?
These were $500 a piece.
And you got one for every car?
And we got 4 of them.
Okay.
We received, these were purchased under a grant from the Vesta Cop, which is in Ridley Park, Delaware County. a grant to every police department was eligible to apply for up to $2,000.
So it'll basically cost you $500. I mean, we need it.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah,
cost
yeah,
five-
yes.
It's gonna cost us $500 every time we use it.
Essentially, yes, yes. If they hit them.
Right,
Sometimes they're smart enough, they try to go around them and
right.
we'll hit something else. You know, the wall, the guide rail, you know, another car, you know, but essentially, yes, to replace them, it's gonna be $500.
Right.
You know. But that can also be charged, if they do get charged, that can be charged to the cost of prosecution.
Okay.
Do you mind, can we get your name and address? Do you mind?
Oh, sorry. Joe Connor, 3317 Park Road.
Thank you.
So these are the stops.
Are we gonna be looking to get additional next year to put in all the other, so every car has one? Are you putting that in your budget for next year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The upside is that, you know, every time, sadly enough, every time a police vehicle gets into a pursuit, you know, you risk the public's life, you risk the officer's life, you know, and these are a much cheaper alternative than any of the others. So, you know, while $500 is $500, it's a lot cheaper than a multi-million-dollar, you know, lawsuit for this and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You know, everything else, so.
That's great. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Unless you don't tell me. Sorry, any questions for me or anything?
So I know you guys had a great presence at National Night Out. Do you want to speak to that? How many
We
people you
did,
were
we
able to
had,
talk to?
we had a very nice turnout, it was, I thought, well received by the community, we had a lot of people come up and, all the kids tried on our ride helmets and playing with our shields, and they couldn't believe how heavy the, heavy vests were, you know, that we wear in
Yeah.
case of an active shooter type thing. Obviously, we wear bulletproof vests every day, but not the heavy ones that we had on display.
Sure.
They're a little too heavy to be worn, you don't be walking around, you know, but our backs crunched over. We had a great turnout, received a lot of positive, there were so many residents that came up and just, you know, hey, it's really good to see you guys here, and they were impressed with the way the cars looked, and they were impressed with the equipment that was out. We had a great turnout by the officers, you know, and it went well. The cornball's always a lot of fun anyway.
Yeah. Bonus.
It's very nice.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Is that everything?
I think so. I
Supervisor
think that concludes the police report.
Great. Bethel Hose, Supervisor D'Agostino.
Yeah, TP conference committee report, we had 43 calls for service, year-to-date calls for service 370, 19 in Bethel Township, mutual aid 24, and 2 drills. And then the next item, if I may, any questions on the call of service? And obviously, just to continue that, the National Night Out, you know, kind of a mini one, I think, for our size community was a right size fit. You know, we had fire, police, and EMS there, so hopefully every year we can continue to grow on that. So there's an action item on here to release funds in an amount of $11,583. This is to cover the PEMA loan for truck 66, and this comes from our fire tax fund. So I can make a motion for that.
Motion made, and I will second. So motion made by Supervisor D'Agostino and seconded. Is there any discussion from the board on this? All those in favor? Motion carries.
Okay, we have one more item, and time flies, so this was brought up a year or two ago. But Pennsylvania passed a law in 2016, basically Act 172 of 2016, to encourage volunteerism in our fire companies, which unfortunately, you know, for whatever reason, people just don't have time or want to volunteer anymore. It allows municipalities and counties to give a tax rebate for those volunteers that live in the community. So far, I know Chester County does it. I'm not sure of anybody in Delaware County that does it. Mike, do you know anybody?
I think Aston.
Maybe Aston does it.
Came out.
So this is an authorization to authorize Bethel Township to advertise an ordinance that would, anybody who volunteers for the Bethel Fire Company And there's criteria that will be laid out in the ordinance. They would get their municipal tax bill from Bethel, have to pay it first. And then we work with the fire company and they would submit a list of those members, volunteer members that meet certain criteria. It would get signed off on, and then they would get a refund for the municipal taxes. So the time where everything is costing more, we're hoping to encourage more volunteerism. So that's a program. Tonight's authorization is just to advertise this ordinance, and then we'll go from there. So hopefully, this will help out a little bit with everybody's rising costs. So I'd like to make a motion to authorize advertisement for the Bethel Township Volunteer Fire Company Tax Rebate Program.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Supervisor D'Agostino and seconded by Supervisor Iacono. We do have a question.
Yeah, just Ed Pasha, 1019 Belmont Lane. The ordinance will just have to be clear as to what tax was refunded since it's broken out in 4 buckets. And then it wouldn't apply to the trash fee, which is also on the tax bill.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Phil Connor, 3317 Walker, is it that anybody in that household or just a property?
Property has to, you have to own and occupy the residence.
Okay, so it's just not like a.
It's not like you can send your 14-year-old to volunteer at the fire department. And the criteria, I will say, it's not like, the criteria that, the fire department offered, to us that, I believe will end up in the ordinance, which I think is part of the public packet, is relatively rigorous. You know, it's not like, you walk in and have lunch one day and all of a sudden you get a tax credit. But
You have to meet so many hours of service and things like
hours of
that.
service, training, there's several criteria in the statute. There's a summary of the statute in the packet as well. And of course, the fire department went through that and met all the criteria, and yeah, they have a point system basically based on this criteria.
And my only, I guess, ask is in the ordinance that there's an opportunity for reciprocity. I know a lot of folks that serve for Bethel Hose aren't residents, and if there's other communities that have the same program, and we can kind of share this.
So we'll work that into the ordinance, and then it does require an intermunicipal agreement as well, so.
As long as it kind of makes sense. I don't know the specifics of it, but that would be.
Yeah, and then after it passes, you can, work on reaching out to the other municipalities to get those intermunicipal agreements put together.
They would have to have the same ordinance passed, right? That's how that works.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so if someone lived in, say, I do think Aston did it, I'm not positive,
Okay.
but if someone lived in Aston and volunteered here, for example,
Gotcha.
or vice versa.
Is there any other comments from the board or questions from the audience? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. On to EMS.
EMS report, there were 42 EMS calls, 25 of them were ALS, 17 of them were BLS this month. I'll move into the emergency management report. No events of major injury reported. There was a home fuel oil spill at 3214 Goodley Road. Our emergency management coordinator was out at the scene that night and has continued to follow up with the homeowner, the county, and DEP. He also assisted in the corn boil and has attended some FEMA classes. And that is submitted by our emergency management coordinator. I can move right along into the highway department report. Crews spent several days after storms cleaning out the storm drains, cleaned and repaired the picnic tables for the corn boil, spent several days setting up and taking down tents for the corn boil and working the event. They removed the fountain from John Atkinson Park because it was no longer working, and they're working on an install for the new fountain. Filled several potholes on township roads, serviced several police cars and trucks, doing some fall cleanup at the parks, and removed a fallen tree on Colonial Drive. We have a couple motions under the highway department report before we get into buildings and grounds. The first one is a motion to appoint Jay Orfatel to the highway department at a rate of $23 per hour for 36 hours a week, subject to a 1-year probationary period. Jay currently works with the department part-time right now. He's looking to go almost full-time, and looking to get this motion approved. And this was already budgeted for this year.
I will second that. So motion made by Supervisor Iacono, seconded by myself. I think, and it was budgeted for for the full year.
It was budgeted for the full year,
Right,
yeah.
right. So, motion made and second. Is there any discussion from the board on this? From the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And then the next motion is a motion to authorize Millennium Strategies to assist the township in preparing and submitting local share grant applications for Schaefer Preserve, Goodley Road Culvert, and Sharon Basin projects in an amount not to exceed $6,300. I will preface this by saying we did apply for these programs last year. There is a meeting that is supposed to be scheduled this month to potentially announce grant awards. Traditionally, in the past 2 years, that meeting keeps getting pushed and pushed and pushed into January following year. So I'm not sure, not super hopeful that we're going to get any grant announcements this month. Should we do, we may not need this motion. But in the event that we don't hear anything, this will allow Millennium Strategies to kind of review what we've already submitted and kind of tweak it and update it, and help us maybe be a little more successful in these grant pursuits. This money is also budgeted for 2025.
And Millennium Strategies is
Grant consultant.
our grant consultant. It's already kind of been pre-approved for that.
Correct.
Okay, motion made. I will make a second to the motion. And I guess, can you speak to us a little bit about where we're at as far as what we budgeted for grant assistance?
We budgeted $40,000 for Millennium Strategies this year to help us out with grants, and I believe we've only used $8,000 to date.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a question?
Yes. Mr. Lincoln.
George Lincoln, 1418 Deer Meadow Lane. Can you give a little background? It sounds like we've used Millennium Strategies previously in submitting.
This year was our first year using them.
Okay, and so I was under the understanding that we had already submitted applications for Goodley for Schaefer Preserve. Was Millennium Strategies part of that process?
No, those were submitted. Well, I shouldn't say that. Those were submitted. The local share we submitted last year, the township did those applications. We've submitted grants this year, not for the same program, for other grants that Millennium has helped with for some of those projects, but they're different grant applications.
Yeah. So can you tell me your thoughts in going with Millennium for these that you listed here, as opposed to continuing with what you've done with grants in the past?
Because we haven't been as successful in writing grants, and they're very time consuming. And a lot of municipalities are working with grant consultants. They have a pretty great success rate in some of the municipalities they've been working for. So it helps alleviate the burden on the township staff and allows us to maybe be a little more successful because this is their expertise.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Diane Smith, 1602 Wendy Way. I just wondering, since this is the first year that they've been using this service, are you gonna do an analysis at the end of the year to see, what did they get for us? What did we, do? How much better did we do with them than we do without them, to see if they're worth it?
Yeah, so far they haven't even announced any of the grants that we've applied for this year. So I may not know anything until next year, because sometimes, like I said, this grant is supposed to be awarded in the fall, but a lot of times it ends up being awarded in the spring of the following year. So, but the intent is, after a full cycle to see if we've had any benefit.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be this year coming up.
Yeah, I don't think we won't have an answer in December. I can tell you that, unfortunately, but
When you renew the contract with them.
I think it's a 1 year. So yeah, it would be, and it was middle of, I don't think we signed them at the beginning of the year.
We did
so.
not. And there
Yeah.
was some evaluation for some other firms. And I think that,
But yeah, we're definitely,
Yeah.
if they're not successful either, then,
they
may
wouldn't
not
be in business.
Well, the information they provided us when we interviewed them, they had some good success.
I will say the challenge I've noticed is that we go to PSATs, like the Pennsylvania State Association of Township Supervisors, like it's our statewide conference. And we see municipalities that are much smaller than ours, getting much more grant money. And, we're looking for a more competitive advantage because that's offered up to everybody. And I don't know that we've been getting our fair share of it, and we need some support and help.
Okay, I just wanted to know if we were gonna, be on top of it. So, it's important to use our money wisely.
And we haven't even used them as much as we had originally anticipated for the year, so.
Is it fair to say you're also still doing some grants independent of them?
Yeah, I have applied for a couple separately without their assistance.
If the lift is a little light?
Yes,
So is the fee for like?
it's per grant, so if we want them to pursue it, I'll reach out and say, hey, can you give us a cost to help us pursue this grant? And they give us an individual cost.
Because I think when you first proposed this, I think they, and I could be wrong, but I kind of remember it just being like a one-time fee. And then they were gonna go out and find it as much as they could. Because they were gonna look for grants.
Right, they do, and
They
they
do.
send us every week, we get updates if there's any new grants posted, and then they reach out with additional info and say, hey, we think this might be a fit for some of the projects you've identified, things like that, but it's not a
There
one-time.
were
There's a-
what you're talking about.
There's the
There were-
$5,000 annual.
Yeah, there were two different things,
Yeah.
like two different plans,
You're right.
the like individual or like a group. And we chose the individual, pay them every time, we would like them to do something for us.
Okay. All right, those are the different choices. So. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just have a question.
Sure.
Nominated 1612 Lady Way, how much money have we paid them already until this year?
$8,000.
8,000 plus.
Well, that's not including this.
What? That would make sense.
Okay. Is there any other comments? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
Motion carries.
All right, and I can go into the buildings and grounds report. Crews cleaned out and reorganized the storage sheds in the rear of the EMS building, trimmed the brush in the rear of the salt shed, and washed down the highway garage floor. That concludes the facilities and maintenance reports.
Thank you. On to board reports. First is Parks and Recreation. So their meeting will be tomorrow. That'll be their first meeting. I'm sorry, it'll be the meeting of September. They did have a meeting following up for the corn boil, and within the packet, there's a summary of some of the findings on how we can improve and try to refine getting the vendors in and under contract earlier. The bulk of the night was spent planning for movie night, which will be September 13th with a rain date the following week. And also we had discussion about having to put down our deposit for the fireworks display for 2026. So they'll require a down payment this year. And I think that item is on the agenda. We did talk a little bit about the pond.
Fountain.
Pump, yes. And so I think there may be some follow-on activity, but I know you and I discussed that there was some folks that some residents had mentioned that it wasn't in operation, and we're going to try to get it up and running. And then in terms of, there was a little bit of discussion, Mr. Hootman, about where we were on the Jack King boardwalk replacement. I think you had sent me an email this week, but it was kind of a little bit after the packets were compiled. But it's safe to say that you anticipate some resolution and their permitting or delineation and being able to move forward at sometime next week.
Certainly hope so, yes.
Yeah, not guaranteed, but that's the hope.
Right.
Is there anything else you want to add on that, or is that?
No, it's just the bureaucracy takes time, I think we submitted information in May or June, and we're still here looking for approval to go ahead and replace that section boardwalk.
Who's reviewing that?
It's at the Conservation District, Ed McGarvey is reviewing it, and he had a question about, since that project was previously permitted, that how to go about revising the previous permit or accepting a new permit. So he brought in DEP, and therein lies a little bit of the time delay that we've been experiencing lately.
Who is it at DEP? Do you know?
I don't know.
Can you let me know?
Yeah, I might have that. Let's see. Thank you, Mr. Hoop. I do have one item on the agenda. In addition to that, it's a motion, and this is to authorize payment for the down payment and reservation of the fireworks display for July 3rd in 2026. So I'd like to make a motion to authorize entering an agreement with Sky Shooters Pyrotechnics LLC for the 2026 fireworks display in an amount of $6,200, subject to the solicitor's approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Supervisor Derhinessian. Is there any discussion on this topic from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. On to zoning hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The board met in August 2025, and there were two items in the agenda. First was a continuation from the month before for a request for a deck extension, a new paper patio at 3064 William Road, and that was granted with conditions. The second was a variance request for a rear yard setback of 14.1 feet in order to allow a newly constructed patio to remain at 4004 Penford Place. This was also granted with conditions. The board's next meeting will be held on Thursday, September 25th at 7 p.m. Please note that it's typically Wednesday, but it is moved because of the holiday. At this time, the board will be considering following variance request, 2025-11 application at Sulky Way. Applicant is seeking relief from section 902.2.c and is requesting a rear yard setback of 16 feet in lieu of the required 25 feet in order to expand the existing deck. And that was respectfully submitted by Gary Lanahan. Mr. Lanahan, I think you're here. Anything to add?
Nothing to add, no, thank you.
Great, thank you. That concludes that report.
Thank you. On to planning commission.
The planning commission did not have a meeting this month, so nothing on the agenda there.
Okay, on to sewer authority.
Thank you. Bethel Township Sewer Authority's meeting, mainly administrative items. The two items that have been ongoing are the Powell Road pump station upgrade, which we're still working on, procuring the equipment for that. And the pump station generator grants that they've received. They're looking to purchase some equipment through CoStars. That was about it. Don, anything additional? That concludes my report.
Thank you. On to education, Supervisor Davey.
Thank you. In light of the recent tragedy in Minnesota, the school district thought it appropriate to review with everyone that the safety systems that we have in place in the school district. For everybody's information, the school district does have maintain active supervision and communication during all recess and unstructured times with staff carrying walkie-talkies that connect to school offices across the district. All the exterior doors are locked throughout the school day for all facilities, and buildings use secure entrance systems. Staff receives regular training and emergency protocols to ensure that they're prepared to respond quickly and effectively in a variety of emergency scenarios. The Director of Safety and Security presents annual reports to the school board. The district works in close partnership with both the Pennsylvania State Police and our local township police, communicating about not only various issues, but increasing controls in response to concerns, supporting students emotionally and socially in the areas of mental health with school counselors, psychologists, and partnerships to provide any available support, and engaging in safety practices that are designed to protect students without overwhelming them with a sense of anxiety or dread. So all of those procedures are in place and in effect and have been. And I know the school is always working to keep all of its facilities as safe as possible. The Pennington project is continuing. Construction's ongoing. The main stadium entrance is currently closed. The small gate on the away side of the field remains open for pedestrian access. Stadium snack bar remains open during home games, and parking in the stadium lot is slightly impacted due to the upper field construction. There is a web page on the Garnet Valley School District website for anybody who wants more information on the status and trajectory of the Pennington project. At this point, I would recognize our junior supervisor, Leia Consiglio. She's been with us for many months now. And even though, and I apologize for not being there in person tonight, but we want to, on behalf of the board, present you with a certificate of appreciation in recognition of your hard work and dedication, commitment as Bethel Township Junior Supervisor. Your performance and contributions have impacted the success of our meetings and informed the public, and I think you've done a wonderful job. So congratulations, Leia. You did well. Not completely off the hook yet because you have to do a report. So
Yeah.
you're up.
Can you pull the monitor over so Davey can be in the shot?
you go. Here's a flag. Here's a check. Here's a little thank you. Thank you. Container right here. And I'm gonna take a picture. No, they're gonna hand it to you then.
Oh. Sorry.
Well, you just slapped on this,
I'm busy now.
Everybody threw it to like speed.
I'm scared, you ready? 1, 2, 3, a little bit higher, I know that's a thing these days, higher, and roll side, please. We're good. Yeah.
And then you can give your report.
You got it. I'll send it to you, yes. And you still have a report to read?
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she's not off the hook yet.
Yes. Here's the box, young lady, and the cover for it. Here's what you want. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Okay.
All right, so this is my last report for you guys. So in August, we obviously didn't have school, so there were still some things going on. We had seniors were getting started with all their senior things. We had senior sunrise and paint the shack. We had all of our orientations for middle school and high school transitions, as well as like new student orientation. And every school had their back to school nights and went very well. I think the elementary school ones might still be coming up a little bit. So here's some pictures. For the senior portraits, they normally have everyone sign their name. That did not happen this year. So that is the sad wall of just the 2026. And then we had obviously paint the shack, and the middle two pictures are from senior sunrise. Clearly the sun didn't really rise, but it's okay. Because I won't be here, I did September and October. So I think the new thing with school starting is that the school is doing a program called Screen Smart, where it's just promoting like healthy use of screen time. So I know at the high school, most teachers are putting like phones in a separate part of the classroom, and every teacher I think is required to teach a certain number of lessons on the use of technology and phones and how that affects learning. So that has definitely been a huge thing, and it's taking like time out of my AP classes. So they're definitely taking this very seriously. We have picture day coming up for the middle school and the elementary schools. Middle school sports started this week. High school sports have been going. Constitution Day is this big celebration at the middle school, and that is coming up on the 17th. So one of the teachers dresses up as the Constitution. They do a lot of celebratory things. It's very fun. Testing is already starting. We have PSATs on October 8th at the high school, and AP exam signups are open now. And then homecoming in October, the game is the 17th, and the dance is the 18th. We already got a brief report on Pennington, but here are some pictures. Every day there is significant progress being made. I feel like every time I go back, it's like looks completely different. The dirt is just being constantly moved around on that hill, and it definitely is affecting the parking lot. Like it's like covered in dirt, like of the first row. So a lot going on there, but the construction around the field looks pretty good. So exciting.
Wow.
And
Can I ask you a question real
yes.
quick? So the school had that flood a
Yes.
little bit back. Is there anything, like when you're in school, is anything affected? or is
Oh,
it-
yes. So the one thing is I didn't notice it for so long, but I stepped into the auditorium after a few days, and the entire floor of the auditorium is like ripped up. So there's like no carpet in there. So that is a big thing that especially the drama club's worried about, because they have their show and they're starting that this week actually. So they're hoping that that gets done, I think, before the show, but who knows, because things change very quickly. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
I
Supervisor
was
Davis.
going to move on to the library report.
Yes.
Library report for the month of August, some highlights for September. On Tuesday, September 16th, the library has their annual fundraising dinner at Crown Tavern. This is the 5th annual dinner beginning at 5:30. It'll be a buffet, cash bar, and chance to win raffle baskets. Tickets are available online or at the library itself. September is library card sign-up month. Sign up for a new library card or refer a friend who signs up this month and be entered to win a $25 gift card. The library will be at Concord Township Community Day at a table. The roof of the library is still in need of replacement. Recent budget delays have slowed down the ability to pursue certain grant opportunities, but they're still looking and working towards a long-term solution there. And the library is always looking for volunteers to assist with upcoming fundraising events. If anyone's interested in getting involved, please reach out to the library via email or stop by the library and speak with the director. That's all I have for the library.
Thank you. On to the manager's report, Dr. Addison.
Sure, where I was there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin by thanking our police department, fire department, highway crews for their outstanding effort during this year's Corn Wheel. It was a wonderful family event with an excellent turnout, and it truly showcased the dedication and spirit of our township. We also want to extend our gratitude for our township board of supervisors, especially those who volunteered for the dump tank. Michael D'Agostino, Vice Chair Stephanie Darabessian. It was a little chilly.
Hey, what about Chuck?
Chuck too.
Yeah, what about Chuck?
Chuck there? Yeah. Oh, I had you mixed up with the other fellow, Ford.
Mm-hmm.
You were in there too?
I was.
And our chairman. I'll be going push.
For the record, John Ford and Chuck did not look anything alike.
Well, they had their shirt. I will, I'll be doing push-ups, sorry about that. Bringing extra fun and excitement, a special thank you goes out to our Parks and Recreation volunteers, that's solid without a doubt, and our ambassadors this year, who did a wonderful job. Everyone had their hands on that, it was a multi-moving, activity for the day. The township is continuing to roundtable discussions with department heads as we plan for 2026. We're working closely with our accounting department and treasurer to ensure strong financial oversight and thoughtful preparation for the year ahead. Looking ahead, we are actively preparing for upcoming winter season, and you'll know our township vehicles are thoroughly being safety checked and stocked with necessary supplies to ensure safe and effective winter operations. Our highway department will start the process of ordering salt. Finally, I'm very pleased to share that the latest update to our public 311 system is complete. Residents have responded very positively, noting how easy it is to use and how rewarding it is to be able to track the progress of their complaints. Meaning when they go to the 311 system on the website, they put the information with their contact, what the complaint is, drop the pin, it comes to the township, it's picked up by the staff, and then we receive it, it gets a date and time stamp behind the email that they can see, and then you can see where it gets forwarded to, and then the status in the process of it. So they seem to be thrilled at that because they're keeping up in time with it, which is wonderful. In closing, once again, to all staff, volunteers, residents, thank you for your dedication, your engagement, and for helping make our township safe, vibrant, and a thriving community. Thank you very much. Thank you for this, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Dr. Addison. There is no old business on the agenda, but on to new business.
All right, the first item under new business is a motion to authorize payment to Lenai Electric Corporation in the amount of $170,751.24 for the installation of Bethel Township Traffic Signal Light Detection Upgrade Project. This pay request was reviewed by Traffic Planning Design, who's our traffic consultant for this project. This project is also grant funded, so we will be submitting reimbursement for 80% of these costs. This is not the full cost of the project. They have withheld 10% for punch list items or anything else that might pop up in the next month or two. So far, things seem to be running pretty smoothly. I chatted with Brett as well, and he didn't seem to have any complaints. He thought it was definitely an improvement. So far, so good, but this is just the first payment.
Okay, motion made, and I will second. Is there any other discussion from the board on this? From the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The second item on the agenda is a motion to enter into a purchase agreement with the Delaware County Public Schools Healthcare Trust for the provision of employee healthcare benefits for the term January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027, subject to solicitor review.
And I'll second that as well. Motion made by Supervisor Hannessian. And my understanding is this was either 1 or 2 months ago. Mr. Magin, we had a motion to enter kind of a purchasing power agreement with other municipalities through our insurance provider to try to get the best healthcare rate. Is that essentially what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is, and this is the trust that we've been in for, I would think. At least 2 years. Yeah, I think I pulled a motion from 2020.
wow.
On this, so it's a trust we've been participating in for
Blurs.
some time. And, from the healthcare side, I think some success.
Is there any discussion from the board on this?
There's a 2-year extension.
This is a 2-year extension.
From the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, the next motion is a motion to authorize Brandywine Tree and Shrub to remove 5 dead trees from the creek bed and berm area of 3260 Goodley Road at a cost not to exceed $6,500. This was brought to our attention from a nearby resident, so we're looking to get these few trees removed.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Iacono, and I will second the motion. Is there any discussion from the board on this?
Just to confirm, that parcel is owned by the township?
Yeah, that's the former sewer authority property, but now we own it.
Okay.
Any other discussion from the public? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item agenda is a motion to discuss and consider approval of a municipal waiver request from section 311.B.1.B.2 of the stormwater management ordinance, repairing buffer encroachment for the property at 81 Robbins Road. Mr. Hipman, can you maybe give some background here?
Yes, there's a resident at 81 Robbins Road. That's the low end at the back of that circle. If you're looking at the house from the street, there is a carport on the left-hand side of the house, and further to the left-hand side, a stream runs through the property, mostly on the property proper. And what the resident intends to do is to convert the carport into an addition to the house, but that addition will extend another 14 feet further back. In back of the carport, the carport presently encroaches upon the 25-foot wide riparian buffer. That 25 feet is measured from the top of Anchor Stream. The way the ordinance reads, that if an existing lot has a stream which has a detrimental effect on the property, they can have the 50-foot riparian buffer reduced to 25, but any reduction from 25 to a minimum of 10 needs a waiver from the Board of Supervisors. So since the existing carport is closer than 25 feet, but further than 10, the proposed addition, again, which encompasses the footprint of the carport plus another 14 feet, requires a waiver granted by. Is here, Pat, would you like to add anything to that summary?
No, I don't need to. You did a great job. Thank you.
I do have one question, if you don't mind. I looked at the exhibit, which was kind of redlined with
I
the,
think Matt put that together. Maybe.
oh, I'm sorry. There was
This
a,
is you, right? You did
I-
this
I-
one? Yeah.
yeah, there was a demonstration of the 10-foot setback and 25-foot setback. I'm just kind of curious to,
Bill could probably put it on the screen.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we had an idea what the actual setback is.
Yeah.
Is that 15 feet? Is it 20?
What's the actual setback
From
from the stream, from the,
From the shoulder, it's approximately 15 feet
15
to
feet.
the closest point, which is the left-hand corner of the carport, and it gets further away from the addition. So on the back of the addition might be 17 feet, give or take.
Understood. Okay,
Okay.
great. Yeah, thank you. And I got Mr. Hootman's recommendations on it, so I don't have any further questions.
I just want to kind of make a statement that those riparian buffer ordinances are there for a reason. And I think typically the board has not allowed encroachments into the buffer. We've had residents approach asking for additions and changes in the buffer. And they've found another way to do it. That being said, taking a look at, and having a carport in the buffer is one thing, but having a house in the buffer is an entirely different scenario, in my opinion. But I took a look at the photo. I don't know if you provided the photo or Matt provided the photo. And I think, I know that stream runs full. We see it run full. But I think the grade elevation of where that carport is and the actual stream is pretty significant. And I don't necessarily know that it would be impacted. I can't say I love the idea, but I think just looking at the photo, I think I could live with it, but just want to kind of go on record that I don't think we should get into the habit of reducing these buffers.
Any other comment from the board on this? Or from the public? And I don't recall, did we have a motion?
Yeah.
And did we have a second?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I will second the motion that was made by Supervisor Darahanesian. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
On to announcements.
Bethel Township will be holding its paper shredding and drug take back event this Saturday, September 13th from 9 to 11 behind the Myers Building. So encourage all residents, if you have any old documents you want to get shredded or any old drugs you'd like us to take back, stop and by and see us.
And then Bethel Township will also be hosting a movie night put on by Parks and Rec on Saturday, September 13th. That will be at Bethel Springs Elementary School starting at 6:30. The movie is Moana 2, and there will be multiple food trucks there. So come out and get some barbecue or some other sweet treats. The rain date is Saturday, September 20th.
Thank you. Is there any other comment from the public? Yes, please.
George Lincoln, 1418 Deer Meadow Lane. At the last meeting, I think we put on hold advertising the ordinance for a burn. Any status on that since the last meeting?
So at the last meeting, the board authorized advertisement. And candidly, I forgot that Labor Day was happening and, intended to advertise it that day, which would have been a week out. And wasn't able to because the Daily Times wasn't accepting advertisements. In the meantime, we got some resident comments on the ordinance that I think are worth a look. So there may be some updates to it from there, and I'll circulate to the board, and hopefully we'll have it on the agenda for October.
Okay, I was under the impression that we had held off advertising. I'm sorry if I misunderstood that because of those comments.
No, they
You said it was.
authorized advertisement, and the intent was to make some changes based on the comments, which I did, and some additional comments came in, so.
Okay.
We always try to do better when we can, and since we got some comments in, we're gonna see if we can do better.
So it's currently out there for review?
It's currently, we received those comments, I think, yesterday. So I'm gonna go through them, see if they merit any update to the ordinance, and then we'll get it circulated to these guys and get it posted on the website.
All right, thank you.
So it's not currently on the website for review.
The updated one is not.
I don't think we posted that version on the website.
But the originals.
The original may still be up there.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, thank you.
Sure.
We can talk more.
Yes, please.
I'm Ed Deisher, 1108 Old Post Circle. Dr. Addison made comment that you guys are working on your budget, which is great. I figured the time was coming. We've been seeing a lot of what's going on in the area, especially with Delaware County. From 2014 to 2023, the property tax rates in Delaware County remained the same for a decade. 2024, we had a new regime come in, property taxes went up by 4%, but spending skyrocketed by $76 million, and that created a huge deficit with Delaware County. So we had a 24%, almost a 24% tax increase in 2025. And I'm hearing through the grapevine that there's another 20+% tax increase coming in 2026, which is kind of disturbing. I don't think they're doing very well with their budgets. To me, this is unacceptable, and I hope people would speak out to Delaware County. I mean, all this stuff is happening in the county, you know, these budgets are going up tremendously, and they're still not even adhering to the budget, so hopefully people will start to speak out about that stuff. It certainly heightened my awareness of what's going on. I know you all got your tax bills, and it was kind of eye-popping. In 2025, Bethel Township added increased fees for trash and ambulance services, which increased the overall tax bill. You know, residents are burdened with higher prices for everything these days. Trash and sewer are pass-through costs, and the township had to spend that money or make up the difference. You know, hopefully that's all being taken into consideration when we're looking at how we're spending money and how we're budgeting. Taxes were raised last year. I guess I would ask the question, you know, I don't know if there's an answer right now, but are we looking at tax increases for 2026 with everything that's been going on? The reason I ask that question is because, you know, it's kind of easier to let the residents know, you know, what's going on in advance so they can plan for those things. The other thing we've been talking about is the Schaefer Preserve property. And I've gone back through some of the meetings and whatnot, and there's been quite a bit of spending on that, which to me right now, I would classify as a luxury. You know, I went to the Corn Boil myself, and my grandkids there, and my kids there, and you know, the fire equipment's looking old. They can't, from what I'm hearing, they can't buy new equipment without, you know, working on their facilities and doing things to make that work. And to me, you know, the first responder situation is where that affect all of us. So hopefully we're putting, I mean, I would like to see more thought put into the first responders in 2026 and, you know, into the future, because I don't think this type of spending is something that's going to happen overnight, because from what I'm hearing, these fire trucks are $1.5 million and up. I don't know what it's going to take to improve the firehouse to fit these trucks into the building. Now I was in the trucks, and they're kind of looking, not that everything has to be bright and shiny and fancy and polished, but you know, these things are looking kind of worn and looking kind of dated, and you know, hopefully we're putting some emphasis in that. In addition, I know we have reserve funds. You know, and again, looking back at the county, you know, they plowed through all the reserve funds to the point that where there weren't any reserve funds anymore. Maybe there's some hidden that we don't know about, but, you know, hopefully the township's not going to dip into their reserve funds unless it's an emergency. I mean, that's what the money's there for. You know, again, getting back to the residents and keeping them fully informed, letting the residents know what options the township is considering and where the budget's going to stand to allow people to financially plan for that. I know we can't always avoid tax increases, but it's better to let everyone know before the holidays. And, you know, transparency with the Board of Supervisors is a huge thing. You know, government right now isn't getting, you know, too many props for all the different things that we're doing. And I think down at our local level in Bethel Township, just communication with the residents and what they're looking to spend money on and how that's going to affect the budget would be a good thing. So, thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I don't want to be the first one to go up. I got a nerve messed up in my back. The only problem I don't have is carrying $60 worth of groceries out of Acme. Pretty late. I've been retired 6 years. I don't want to point anybody out. There's other people here that's retired. Our pre-retirement years were better than what the next generation of retirees is going to have. I agree with that gentleman there. Luxury stuff, the Schaefer property, it's a money pit. I come up with this own system here. I don't know if anybody wants to get a calculator out on your phone. Strictly volunteer. I don't want to know your business. You take the Bethel Township tax, put it in the calculator. Delaware County tax, put it in the calculator. School tax, put it in the calculator. If you have a maintenance fee, if you're living in a condo or retirement community, put that in there. That gives you 4 numbers. If you plan to live in your property for another 15 years, multiply that by 15. That's not a 401k. That money's gone. That's gone. And it's climbing. The money spent on the Knowles study. Did we ever have an answer on that? The
Oh,
no, yeah.
No.
You
no,
paid
they haven't reviewed the plans yet.
$30,000 and it's still floating around, right?
We have not spent that money yet.
Okay, but to me, that's a money pit. I don't understand how you bought something that's already reserved. I don't quite understand that. But I didn't, I don't want to get down that road. I think everybody knows it's a money pit. But that's my formula. I also noticed, because I've looked at properties upstate, everybody thinks Garnet Valley brings real estate. Go upstate and look at properties. They're more value up there than what we got down here. They say we're a congested mess down here, and they're right. You know, I don't have all my information, and I don't want to pick things apart, but I will speak out. I mentioned a long time ago, plant manager said one time, "Who the hell's that guy?" And I ain't afraid to talk. The corn boil, nice. Was there a bubble machine for $600? Did I look at that right?
Oh, there's individuals that are performing.
$600.
Mhm.
The drone footage, how long was that? How many minutes?
Of the raw footage or what's,
The price was $300.
right? Yeah, I mean, the raw,
Okay,
footage,
and I mean, the band was nice. How much was that?
$800, I think.
You know, that's coming out of people's wallets. It's nice, you know what I mean? But I think if you go back to the original corn boil, you were happy with a hot dog and a pretzel. That's me. I mean, I'm old school. But you're spending tax money. I don't think you people get it. I have my retirement, and other people in here, they have theirs. You have to get there yet. And the way these taxes are going up, do the math. I gave you a formula. Take them 3 taxes times 15 if you're going to live in your house for the next 15 years. That's not a 401k. That money's gone. That's it. When I seen that sign down here, Goodley Road, with those 2 gentlemen's name on it, I think that's a positive. That's a positive.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion made, seconded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.